Hey, we are back in a very oddly sweaty and humid Las Vegas at an undisclosed location, but it could be one of 3 major security events happening in Las Vegas right now. Not going to say what we're doing, but I am here with Mandy Huth. Mandy, if they're looking for you on the Twitter, where are they going to find you?
My Twitter handle is @cyberfortress.
Very interesting stuff. So you and I were talking a little bit this morning about something I think doesn't get nearly enough attention given what's happening in the industry, and that's secure development. Why is that not a bigger deal, and what can we do to make sure that people are paying more attention?
I think it's a great question. I think a lot of what is happening is the gap between development and security teams. And if you really think about it, we're not taking the time to understand each other. And so I think developers absolutely have security on their mind. And I think security teams have development on their mind. But when's the last time you heard an InfoSec person go over to a development team and sit down and understand how they're coding? So developers, when they really start talking about what they have to do, it's not just coding it at the C prompt. It's about working with many people all over the world, compiling code, making sure it works. And in order to really get them to do secure software development, you really have to understand that process and make sure you inject it from early on when it's easy. So understanding their process, understanding how it works for them will help them be better advocates for your InfoSec strategies.
Now, is that something that, regardless of the type of software, whether they're doing storage and recovery or if it's security solutions, whatever it is, are there different ways you need to do that? Or whether you're the boss at the C level and you're just coordinating that, is there similar approaches, or like how individually do you have to treat those types of roles?
So I honestly think while every type of software that you're developing will be slightly different in the way that you code, the earlier in the process you become a stakeholder in what they're coding and what they're building, I think that the foundational components are similar. With
great power comes great responsibility.
It's a scary thing.
Exactly. Now, a lot of people don't have the luxury of, they can do the development in-house, but they don't necessarily have all the iron to host it on. So people are going out, they're using, whether it's Amazon, some of these other services. How does that change the strategy for secure development process?
It's a great question, because a lot of companies, as you said, don't have enough on-premise equipment to be able to really test scale and really see how far it'll go, and performance testing. And so people are going into the cloud. Whichever service you choose to use, it gives you the opportunity to scale up, to scale out, and to really be able to test that development the way that you need to. What I want everyone to understand from a security perspective is how many of us really take the time when we say, I agree to these terms and conditions.
And the greatest South Park episode ever.
I click in a checkbox and I'm ready to go. And what the cloud services really give us is the ability to spin something up really, really quickly. But if you take the time, and this is just an example, I know that one of our cloud providers has over 90 services available. And if you look at all the checkboxes, there are over 200 checkboxes across those 90 services. And so if you're not reading the documentation, that fine print underneath, that's where you're going to find how things are being built, what are the vulnerabilities, and make sure that you're coding correctly to avoid those types of pitfalls.
So you could actually code something, I won't say perfect because nobody ever hits that, but you could code it exactly to the specs you want secure-wise, but because of the vulnerabilities native to your cloud server, that could be the problem.
Right, the way they give you a base OS, certainly you build on top of that, but because of the way that their infrastructure works, if you don't have all of that battened down, then you could potentially be at risk.
Batten down's perfect word for it. So we're trying to find all of the little nooks and crannies that people are not considering when they're looking at security. I think, as we're seeing and hearing more often, development is a key spot. If people are looking for more information about you, mention the Twitter one more time.
Sure, my handle is @cyberfortress.
And any other good information, where some good places they could go if they're just looking for good information about what you're up to or about keeping secure.
You know, there are so many really great vendors out there today. We're at a security conference. Really take the time to walk the floor. There are a lot of innovative things. Take time to talk to the people, though, not just your vendors, but talk to the people that are here, because they're the ones practicing every day.
Yeah, I think crowdsourcing, that could be the best vendor of the 12,000 of us that are here.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I am at PacMat73. Come looking for me, because I go find awesome people like Mandy to make sure we're bringing you all the latest information. Don't go anywhere.